That was Senator Barack Obama speaking to a group of liberal Christians back in June of 2006. Comments that have left some questioning Obama's interpretation of the Bible. Influential evangelical leader Dr. James Dobson is one taking aim at Obama's citation of biblical verses that impact public policy. Take a listen.
I think he's deliberately distorting the traditional understanding of the Bible to fit his own worldview, his own confused theology.
And joining us now, Republican strategist Bay Buchanan, NPR senior correspondent. Our friend Juan Williams is back with us. Guys, welcome back. Good to see you.
Good to be with you.
Thanks,
Bay, weigh in. What do you think?
Well, I think Barack Obama has made an enormous mistake here moving into this area. The last thing he wants, Sean, is a debate with Jim Dobson. We have this huge sleeping giant out there of social conservatives, evangelicals, born again, the traditional Catholics. We kind of feel we don't have a place in this election. He will never get our votes. The best thing he can do is keep us sleeping. He wakes us up when he starts talking about what the Lord meant when it comes to the Sermon on the Mount, to suggest that the Sermon on the Mount somehow justifies gay marriage. He will get us all up in arms. We will be intrigued, interested, and in the middle of this battle, and he will lose as a result of that.
Juan, I actually agree with that in the sense that maybe John McCain couldn't do this. Barack Obama could do for John McCain what McCain may not be able to do for himself. You agree?
Well, but wait a second. You know what? Senator Obama didn't just give this speech. This is a speech back in '06 that Dobson has just suddenly discovered. And I think Dobson's frustration is with the Republican Party. I think he's frustrated with John McCain being a supporter of stem cell research and gay rights. He doesn't like that
Let me
stuff.
ask you this.
He's upset.
Juan, there's been so much, and I give you a lot of credit. You've been very, very open in your criticism of Senator Barack Obama, about his judgment, about his honesty, about his associations. There's been, every time I tune into a show, I hear flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop. For me, when you put all this together, if we're going to take it an inch deeper, isn't this really what's emerging about Barack Obama? I see a man that may have a character flaw, in as much as he seems to do everything for political expediency. He doesn't seem to have core values or beliefs guiding him. Is that fair?
Well, I think it's fair because, you know, we're just coming to know him, and time and again, when you look at campaign finance reform to Reverend Wright, you know, he makes a turn that basically boils down to political expedience. But I'll say this, he's about winning, and you need some really hard-edged political, metal in order to do it. In fact, you know, a good conservative, David Brooks, the New York Times, said even as he's watched the flip-flops, he's impressed that this is a guy who can deal with terrorists and hard-edged world leaders.
That's canceled out, by the way, by the McCain flip-flop during the primary season when he used public financing to secure a loan that he never used the public financing. But, Bay, let me ask you about that speech. I was at that speech at the National Cathedral in June of 2006, and he actually, the whole thrust of the speech was that secularists, he said, are wrong when they ask believers to leave their religion at the door before entering the public square. And he cited Frederick Douglass, Abraham Lincoln, Williams Jennings Bryan, Dorothy Day, and many others, Dr. Martin Luther King, whose faith informed their public persona. I would think conservatives like you would applaud what Obama said if you actually read or saw that entire speech.
I have not, to be quite honest. However, I do know that when he says those things, he's appealing to us. But then he goes and says, that, like we just heard, that indeed the Sermon on the Mount, or no, he didn't say it in that clip, but he has said Sermon on the Mount, use that in order to justify things that are clearly
but you're not reciting the entire
something that
speech.
The Lord would support.
The whole speech was a very...
But he tries to appeal to everybody in one speech, Alan. That's the politician in him.
There was a theme to this speech, which James Dobson went and dug out. Obama didn't start the fight. Dr. Dobson did. He went and found a speech. And Dr. Dobson, like you, is not a very big fan of John McCain. Is it true? Were you correctly quoted, Bay, by Frank Rich when he quoted you as saying John McCain's incapable of energizing his party, brings no new people to the polls, and has a personality that's best kept under wraps? Is that an accurate
That is absolutely accurate, and it's exactly to my point this evening. The conservatives are out there with no place to go. We kind of feel left out here. And what has Obama done? This isn't just 2 years ago. If you're reading in the papers recently, he's out there reaching to the evangelicals. He says nobody's left out there. I'm going to try to bring in the Christians. He thinks that he can make inroads into them. He makes a mistake because right now they're not activated, and he keeps this up, and you'll see us all out there in huge numbers voting for John McCain.
Well, they're not activated by McCain either, by the way. Anyway, thank you both very much for being with us. Coming up.